Hello everybody, I'm Adrian. Behind me I got the 2015 C7 Corvette. So today I'll be doing a 6-year review on this car. So I've had this car since it was brand new, and I'll be talking about how the car has been for the last 6 years. So I'll talk about the reliability and how the car has held up over time. So let's talk about the exterior first. So the paint's still looking good, no paint peeling. So this one's still looking okay. It does have some scratches. I do daily drive this car and I've managed to keep it in one piece, so that's good. I drive it in all year round, so it don't matter if it's raining. If it's raining really harsh, I'll take my pickup truck, and during winter time I drive it as well, as long as the temperature is at least 30 degrees, just because I keep my summer only tires. I've never switched to the all seasons, so probably I might switch over to the all seasons just so I can drive it at all times. There has been several times when it's just too cold that I wasn't able to drive it, so probably on my next go around on the tires I might just switch to the all seasons. So let's talk about the interior. So the exterior is still looking good in the 6 years. So we do have a little bit of wear here just because resting my arm. So this is about one of the few things we can see a lot of wear. The dash is still looking good, no cracks, the stitching is still holding up. So I do daily drive this car, and in my opinion, when it comes to a daily driver and the overall ownership experience, has to be reliability. So let's talk about reliability and what all I've had wrong with this car. So this car, the only repair that I've had to do on this car was a wheel bearing. So I made a video on that. That was a couple thousand miles ago. So it just had this roaring noise, and for a while so I couldn't really figure out what it was. I thought it might have been something, the transmission, the differential, and then it just progressed to get worse, to where I could tell the noise change as I would turn the steering wheel. So I was able to figure out that it was a wheel bearing. So that's it as far as repairs. It's had one recall, but that was just a software update. And then a couple times the instrument cluster has glitched out. It would just light up like a Christmas tree, all the lights come on and flashing. But that's probably happened 2 or 3 times in the 6 years that I've owned it. I haven't seen it in over a year. So, but all that was just me shutting it off, restarting it. It might have been due to my battery going weak, but that's part of maintenance, not really a repair. So the car has been great. The car is still running strong. I love the fact that it's a manual transmission. I really like shifting it through the gears on some of the side roads. It just adds to the driving experience. You just feel more in control with the manual transmission. And I'm really disappointed that the C8 discontinued the manual transmission. So on my last video you saw that I'll be getting the C8 C06, but I'll be keeping this car. I just can't see myself giving up the manual transmission, but originally my intention was to trade in my C7 for the C8 from the very beginning, even from the time that I bought this car. So let's move on to the maintenance. So far this car is maintained, so by the book, everything's up to date. So I recently changed the coolant, and before that I had done the transmission, the differential, the brake fluid, and changed out the clutch fluid as well. The drive belt's been changed. It had a couple cracks, and I'll put the video links because I made videos on all of this. That way you can see kind of what all is involved in it. Air filter, and I kept up with the oil changes, and that's pretty much been it. Oh, and the battery. So I had the battery replaced. I've done all these services on my own, just because I like working on my cars. Just getting to know more about them. I just don't get old working it through the gears. So I got 46,000 miles, and I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot of miles, but Corvettes just don't get driven like an average car would. And I went around and checked, just did a broad search of all the years of the C7 throughout the whole country that were for sale, and I actually got more miles than 90% of the cars out there. So it does kind of get driven a little bit more than most, and I was actually glad to see that there were a lot of examples 90, 100,000 miles. So these cars are definitely holding up. And so I used to be an automotive mechanic, and I worked on several different makes and models, and just some cars are not as well put together, and some they're just a couple years old, 50,000 miles. You could just hear the rattles, the squeaks, but nah, this car still feels great, feels well put together, suspension still feeling tight. So just a little bit of interior wear with the seats and the just cosmetics, but as far as the whole drivetrain of the car, still feels great. I think this is just the perfect car to daily drive. So just all the aspects of it, I believe it was just engineered with daily driving in mind. We got all the drive modes, the tour mode, the sport mode, the weather mode, the economy mode.